Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. My name's Dee Zepf. I started working in the channel in 2011. I was head of product at Continuum for a bunch of years and now have been chief product officer here at Syncro for just over 18 months now. My mission as a product leader is to really help MSPs be successful with using our platform. I really enjoy talking to MSPs, getting to know your business. I speak to MSPs really every day. I make it my mission to try to get on the phone or even in person. It's a little harder these days to do that than it was before, but just to listen and learn. And I've had the privilege of hearing all kinds of stories and feedback and just getting a deeper understanding of the folks I work with. I hear not just technical and product things, although I hear my fair share of technical and product feedback, but I hear a lot about people's business. I hear about the challenges they're facing, broader market challenges and hiring and profitability. I hear three things really, really consistently from every MSP I speak with. I hear that there are too many tools, there's too much complexity, and there's never enough time. And so as we think about that and kind of walk through what we're doing, and this isn't really a product pitch as much as it is just talking about a few examples of folks I've worked with, I'm hoping you'll walk away with a few ideas of things you can do in your business to help you reduce some of that complexity, to help ease up some of that pressure on time, and also help just unlock growth for your business. So before we hop into some of the solutions, a little bit about the challenge. The truth is, this is a tough industry. I don't think I have to sell that to anyone here. Thinking about margins and looking at margins for a typical MSP compared to another type of professional service provider, it's clear that it's a tough spot to be in. And I think there are two reasons. We think about the bottom line on margins. We spend a lot of time talking about this, like efficiency of the team. How do we operationalize? How do you juice efficiency? Looking at AI to help bring that in. And you're needing to deliver kind of this enterprise class level of service and do it profitably at a small scale. The other side of the margin equation, I think, has to do with the nature of the business and the fact that oftentimes if things are going well as an MSP, you're invisible, right? It's really hard sometimes to just get your value and showcase your value to your clients. And so if they don't hear anything from you, sometimes it means that things are going well, or if you don't hear from them. And so it's really challenging sometimes to offer that higher level value and kind of really showcase that to clients. One of the biggest challenges on the bottom line of the margin is really around complexity, but it doesn't just hit the bottom of your margin, it really strangles growth. As we think about this, a lot of it has to do with this tool sprawl. We've talked about it a lot. It's come up in a bunch of conversations here at the show and beyond. I had one MSP that we've worked with, and I'll give you a few more specific stories, but just juggling tools, right? Every day there's a new point solution that's coming into play. Someone finds a new solution, they bring it in. And it's not that any one tool is super expensive or there's sticker shock. It just kind of creeps in over time. Who hasn't gone out and bought a new tool, right? Whether personally or professionally, where you're like, this is going to change everything. It's going to be the thing that I use every single day and it's going to be amazing. And then it ends up being part of what you wanted. It's pretty good. But before you turn around, you end up with this huge stack of tools. And research shows that more than half of MSPs are dealing with 20 or more tools in the stack today. And so it's really, really challenging. What I've seen are the more successful MSPs that I'm working with have done a really nice job of both standardizing their stack as well as thinking through how to standardize on their client's stack as well. So when I think about tool sprawl and think about the complexity of the environment, I think we have to think about both cases, both inside the MSP as well as inside the client site. Let me give you one example of a modern MSP I work with, Vincent from Orchestrate Technologies. So Vincent was probably a few years ago, he moved over, started working with Syncro. He, at the time, had different systems for his ticketing, his billing, his monitoring. He was just starting to move into an area where he was proactively managing the security infrastructure for Microsoft and really starting to think about conditional access and baselines and really kind of rolling out a higher level of security service to his clients. And he was really struggling with his SLAs, his ticket handling times. He was facing a lot of challenges. And so he consolidated on a single platform. He went through and did a lot of automation for his level 1 and level 2 techs to make sure that he was just removing a lot of the day-to-day operational cruft off their plate. He stopped focusing quite as much on managing every minute of time for his technicians, and he really instead shifted his focus to be around customer satisfaction and response times to customers, because I think he was trying to manage the business originally by micromanaging the techs and then decided he was going to flip the script. And so Vincent was able to improve his SLAs by 77%, cut his ticket handling by 43%. And he was then able to have kind of additional time and space. And he said it changed not only the numbers for him in his business, but it changed the whole way his company felt. It kind of changed the culture of how they operated. And then he also leaned in and started offering kind of higher level security services, offering the proactive Microsoft services, leaning in on some security offerings, and has really been much more successful. And one of the things that he's implemented, and he laughs about it because he's like, people still come in and they show up with a new tool. And he goes, and sometimes these new tools are great and you want to have them. There are some things that are just innovative. MSPs are great at solving problems. There's a lot of new tools and new ideas that come in. He stares at every single one and he's like, does this simplify my day or does it add complexity? Is it worth it? I'm very diligent about not just allowing new tools to kind of seep in because they're inexpensive or we got a good deal or it's going to hit one corner case, because then he's afraid he's going to end up back right where he started, where he has one or more full-time people just trying to make sure everything hangs together and is integrated and is updated and with his delivery. Another example, an MSP I've worked with, they similarly looked at all of this as an opportunity. So not only their internal efficiency, but looking at security and all the increasing challenges as an opportunity for business growth. Janice from August eTech, she's been really on a march, growing her business and expanding a lot of healthcare, compliance, really great focus in and around that. And she's looking at security as well as her team's efficiency as a way to help her accelerate the growth of the business. She really took a step back, not only consolidated all of her internal tooling, which was really important for her to kind of make sure she had all her ticketing, everything flowing, and that she has a way to really efficiently manage Microsoft in a multi-tenant way. But she's also working with her clients. Every new client that comes in for her, she's requiring, okay, you're going to be on business premium. You're going to have the security add-on. You're going to have this in your stack. And so she's really come up with a standardized template for how she's onboarding her new clients. So that way she can make sure that she's providing a high level of service and a really great delivery engine. I think one of the things we've seen are a lot of our MSPs are really thinking about places they should leverage Microsoft more versus places they should leverage point solutions. For both of these partners of ours, they've really taken a step back to go, where can I lean in and consolidate my platform, not just PSA and RMM and all of that, but also what should I be taking advantage of from the Microsoft stack? What can I pull in from Business Premium? Where would I want to remove a point solution versus where do I want to keep something in play? And just being mindful about it. I don't think there's ever a right or a wrong or a yes or a no in any of these situations. But taking that step back and taking a look at it from your business perspective to see what's going to drive the most value for you is what I've seen works really, really well for the folks that we're doing business with. All right. So a few actionable steps in working with 5,000 or 6,000 MSPs we talk to and work with. Number one, I think, is evaluate your own internal tech stack. Taking that step back, taking a look, not just at license price, right? Because license cost of software shouldn't be the thing that's really impacting your margins. Labor is what hits your margins, and labor is where the efficiency can degrade if you have people on tasks that are taking up time. Looking at your tech stack, not only from a licensing cost perspective, but also from a what does it take to manage it? What does it take to integrate it? How can you operate it? Really taking that step back and doing that is a key thing that I've seen people do that is really impactful to the business. Consolidate and simplify the tool set wherever you possibly can, starting with things that are redundant, starting with things that take you a lot of time, starting with things that cause pain in the organization. Not only does doing this make you more efficient, it also tightens up your internal gaps. And so it makes your environment more secure if you standardize and pull these things together. The other thing is to really think about your client stack. For a long time now, people I think have tried to narrow down and go, okay, great, I've standardized on a hardware stack. Okay, great, I've standardized on my networking equipment. And this is what I walk in with for this and for this. Standardizing on that software stack is a lot harder. And I think it's really challenging, it sounds like, to do with existing clients. Janice started with all her new clients. She was like, look, if you're coming on board new, this is my offer. This is how I operate. And then she's going back with offers to her existing clients to try to make it so that they can see a path to where it's going to help them and how it's going to help them. And, kind of weaving that into her quarterly business reviews with them. And she'll use things like a security assessment to go, okay, great, I'm going to do a Microsoft security assessment for you. We're going to look at your whole environment. We're going to point out the gaps. We're going to look at the project work we need to do. If we upgrade your licenses here, we're going to remove these set of risks for you. And she kind of walks it through for them from a business value perspective and also from a risk reduction perspective. And so thinking about how to have those client conversations is worth it, because at the end of the day, if your clients are all standardized, you can come up with much more standardized offerings that are going to be delivered profitably and really unlock your growth. I think differentiating with new offerings, whether it's security or even AI and automation offerings, really thinking about how can you get in front of your clients with something that will resonate with them. And some of the most forward-looking MSPs I've worked with are starting to consult. There are a lot of folks doing AI readiness with their clients. There are some folks that are obviously doing more higher level security offerings in and around like proactive tenant management of Microsoft, as well as SOC services and BCIO services. But really thinking about potentially sitting with your clients. How do you figure out if they're in legal or they're in medical? Where are the places they could lean in and use AI, and how might you help them do that? Looking at, you're going to need to be doing some sort of legal review. How can we pull in agents to help you with that? How can we help you be ready for AI? How can we help get you trained up on using it? Sharing with your clients those types of information and learning from your own internal business and providing and showcasing that value is really going to make the difference. And then last thing is to measure and iterate. Whether you're measuring, like Vincent moved from really being fanatical about time on ticket to thinking about CSAT and other things, what gets measured gets improved. And so thinking about what are the KPIs for you and your business that you want to drive, and just make sure you're doing a regular measurement of that so that you're keeping track of where you're at. The underlying message behind all of this is that simplicity is going to help you drive success. And so anything you can do to take that step back, drive out complexity out of your business, and bring simplicity in is really going to unleash growth and potential. We've seen in our numbers from stats, like Vincent was kind enough to share statistics with us and a few other folks, the really magnitude of change they've seen in their business, like a 77 SLA increase and a huge client satisfaction boost are things that are really driving value for his business. With that, I'm going to tell you just a tiny bit about Syncro. And we are here at booth 508. And so I believe at 1:15, we're going to be doing a demo with the full platform. And we'll be giving away Meta Smart Glasses for anyone who's interested in Meta Smart Glasses. So if you have nothing better to do, feel free to come just watch a demo for 10 minutes. But let me tell you a little bit about what you'll be watching a demo of. So Syncro is a platform provider. We have a PSA, an RMM, and Microsoft 365 management capability, all under one platform. Simple and powerful is kind of the mantra we have for what we've built. Just this week at the show, we've also announced that we have backup for both Microsoft 365 as well as Entra ID tied right into the platform. So it's a set it and forget it. Your users come in, they get backed up. There's automatic billing, so your invoicing just goes right out. You don't even have to touch it. All the way from alerting, monitoring, ticketing, all the way through to billing. We have this nice seamless integration across the whole platform. So I welcome any of your conversations after this, or we'll see you over at the booth. Even if it's just to win glasses, we don't mind. We're having some fun with it because it's been a great show. So thank you all for listening this afternoon. Appreciate it.